Today we're at the Blue Mountain Chainstretcher Enduro, 5 stages for me and Max. And this is our first time here for the Enduro course. I think this is the second year they've done it. And don't know all these fire roads that they're gonna try and have us go down. But had a lot of rain yesterday. Hopefully the course is running pretty good and we don't die. So let's get to the top and start with stage 1. Any words of advice?
I'm scared. I don't know how this is set up. It's like Willy Wonka's, man. He's also cheating. He got here a minute early, waiting out the start of the... You're like the guy that goes to garage sale and it says, no early birds.
Oh, here come our competitors. Okie doke.
Enjoy.
Man, I don't remember how you should enduro race. So if you've been to Blue Mountain before, you're probably wondering how in the world did they create an enduro course here? And you'd be right, because I'd say this isn't your normal enduro. The XC courses here make a ton of sense, and even though there's a good amount of elevation and a lot of technical terrain, this place does not have very consistent descents unless you're taking the fire roads, and that's not usually the way people want to run an enduro course anyway. I think this really intrigued Max and I, so we decided to sign up for the 5 stage, and we're just going to get into these stages and see how we do. It was definitely a spicy event, and I had my fair share of mechanical issues. So as you may know, I am quite a big fan of Blue Mountain Reservation. I've been here quite a number of times, but I haven't ridden all the trails actually. We usually just stick to On Your Mark, Mixed Monster, and try and go for the biggest rock rolls that we can find. But there are a ton of technical sections, even in the blue and less popular black trails, and that's what a lot of the enduro course actually focused on. So even though I am more familiar with this place than other enduro courses I've been to, I'm not going to say I have ridden these sections a bunch in my own time. There were a ton of events going on today, including multiple categories of XC racing, the enduro course, both 3 and 5 stage, and then they had omnium options, which included your combined time on both XC and enduro, which is honestly props to the race organizers for setting all this up, because I've never been to an event with so many options, and that was really cool to see on top of a festival going on. So I'm sure they had their hands full and they did a really good job executing. And you could see that they used a race tape kind of like thing on the ground, and we had the magnetic timing chips on our forks. So that was my first time using that, which seemed to be pretty accurate and easy to install. I really don't like the whole wearing a badge sort of timing chip on your wrist and having to put it against the tree. That could just like not engage very easily. So I was glad that the timing thing was more automatic. Now, I'm not too familiar with motocross enduro racing, but I'm pretty sure that they have to do quite a bit of climbing and traversing here and there in those events. In mountain bike enduro racing, of course, we hope that it's all downhill, but at the Chainstretcher Enduro, you're definitely going to get some climbing in these stages. But honestly, I think my bike kind of suited that a little bit better, you know, just being a trail bike. And I feel like an enduro bike would have actually been way too overkill. And I can prove this because the winner, the fastest guy on all these stages, was riding a Specialized Epic. So you definitely do not need an enduro bike to win here. And yeah, I just thought it was pretty cool. Even though it's a bit more suffering, the total race times were 20 to 25 minutes for the 5 stage. And like cumulative time, and that's quite a bit of time considering we only climbed 1,600 feet for this event.
That was horrendous. I'm gonna move up so they don't crash.
That was fun. Yeah. Oh. Bro, what? Dude. My pedal just came off. It came completely unscrewed. Yeah, so somehow my left pedal came completely off the spindle right as I crossed the start line of stage 3. So that meant the time was already ticking, and I probably threaded it back on in like a minute and a half. I also changed my GoPro battery quickly. Just so happened to die right after the pedal came off. Obviously though, I just threaded back on as quickly as I could and just kept moving, so I did not feel very confident charging into sections and pedaling. I kept looking down, trying to make sure that it wasn't unthreading itself again. Luckily it stayed on, and stage 3 was the most grueling stage of them all. There was probably 2 to 3 sections where you were straight up climbing, and then very traversy, some really technical route sections around tricky corners that really like slow you down if you don't know it's coming. So Max and I struggled quite a bit, as you can tell by his exhaustion. Wasn't that so enduro?
No, no, no. No. No.
Then we get right into stage 4, which starts off with a pretty intense rock roller that I've never done before, never seen before, and I thought that this was the main line, but you could have actually veered to the right and avoided this.
Oh my god. Don't do that roller. Holy.
Yeah, that ended up being way more intense than I had wanted it to be. And I thought that the guy who just went before us on a Ripley, I was like, oh, he's got a little bit less travel than me. I think he just did this. It was probably fine. It was not fine. So I have to say that stage 4 was probably the one that I regretted my lines the most. I had never seen this back section of Blue Mountain before, and these trails definitely had much better lines than what I was taking. So I would definitely like to come and check out this back section again when I'm riding just by myself or with my friends. There's probably a lot of cool stuff back here, and judging by how intense that rock roll right at the beginning was, there's probably some cool stuff that we haven't ridden yet.
Bro, that roller was
Oh, you did it?
heavy.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I skipped that.
I thought you had to go that way.
No, there's a couple rocks to the right of it, so you can go around it.
Dude. That roller, did you do the roller? I slammed my fucking wheel into that, yeah.
Yeah, it has a pretty rough G out.
To finish it out on stage 4, this was probably the most downhill oriented trail that we rode, mostly fire road type with a lot of rock gardens that you gotta hop through, and line choice matters a lot here, and I don't know the lines.
That was an atrocious line. Another atrocious line.
Either way, I was feeling good about trying to stay light on the bike and just plowing over whatever I could. However, by this point, we had not gone back to the car once, and we really thought we would, but it only made sense to go back to get more water and whatnot after stage 1. And you're like, I'm feeling fine. Why do I gotta go back to the car? But all the other stages, 2, 3, 4, were pretty much as far away from the parking lot as the race got. So at this point, Max and I were feeling very fatigued. He was feeling lightheaded. It was just not a good time. So we'll throw that in there as a little excuse. Oh, and then I got a flat tire somewhere. No idea where.
Bro, no. Flat tire. Bro.
Really?
Bro.
Wow. Look at you.
Destroyed. I don't even know where this happened.
Probably in any one of those pointed, jagged rocks.
I don't even feel it.
That's crazy, bro. As soon as I saw that tape, I was like, thank God I hopped like 7 rocks just to get through it. Oh, man. I could have cooked that thing. What a shame.
Yeah. I really don't know, like, who beat who.
It's,
Be crazy if we podium, or one of us podiums.
that would be ridiculous.
I don't know.
Unheard.
I don't know who did the 5 stage.
There's at least, well, didn't you say there was 9 people?
Yeah, I saw 9 people registered, but
I'm shooting somewhere around maybe 5th. I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
greater than halfway. We're guessing 4th and 5th.
Oh, you're
see.
4th?
No, I have no idea. Got my pedal, fell off the spindle mid-stage, and then completely flatted. Luckily on the most downhill section, Don't think I destroyed my rim, but this is the gnarliest enduro course I've done yet.
This is raw.
It's freaking crazy. Back to the car.